Hello, everyone. Hello. I'm so happy to see you all today for our very last bonus session of this live. Right, this is our last bonus session of um of the challenge of the whole 5 day challenge, and I'm looking right now in my feed to see if this live video is popping up. And if it is, please go ahead and let me know. I would love to hear your comments. Hey, people are on already. Oh my goodness, this is so exciting. Hey, Alexandra. Hey, Aisha. Hey, Emily. Oh my goodness, you guys have me so excited. Thank you for being here and joining. We're talking about how to maximize your lengthened study season. Because if you have extra months to study, so many people are used to studying with just 6 weeks or 8 weeks. But if you have extra time to study, there's a way to make sure you use that time wisely every day so that it actually boosts your exam score instead of dropping your exam score because you had too much time on your hands, so you overstudied. You bought too many resources and materials because you swore you had time for all of that. You had extra time to get anxious and scared and afraid, and all those other like distractions and not keeping them in check. All those other things that happen when you have too much time to study. I was talking to some people and inviting them to the challenge from LinkedIn, and so many of them said, I don't even know if the exam is going to be in July. It might not be until September. So I'm not going to start studying so early. I might forget everything. And I thought, oh, poor thing. Why would you choose to cram when you can simply learn how to maximize your longer study season? And so that's what we're here to do right now today is maximize your longer study season. So if you're here, go ahead and say hi. Hey, Elena. Oh, I'm so happy to see you here. How many people have a longer study season? You're not just using getting ready for the July, which is, in what, 3 months from now, but you're not just looking at July's bar, you're actually looking at September's bar or even February 2021. How many people here have a longer study season? Go ahead and let me know in the comments. I would love to know. Because if that's you, then you definitely want to take in all of these tips because it's going to show you how to make sure that this longer study season is to your benefit and not to your detriment. Right? It's going to make sure that this longer term study season is actually good for you. So go ahead and let me know in the comments, when are you taking the bar? July 2020, right around the corner, fall 2020, or February 2021? What's your best guess, Elena? Let me know. What's your best guess on when you would likely take it? Would you take the earliest one possible, or would you go ahead and wait until a September one or a February one just to build in your own certainty, right? Because you can choose to just not take the July bar and take this time to work on some of the things that we're going to tell you right now. So I love the fact that I worked with someone from, okay, so Aisha's doing July. All right, so you're in crunch time, right? This is basically crunch time. I was talking to someone who actually joined into our group um, program to help you pass the bar exam. And she joined in I want to say last fall. And she's taking the bar this July, and now it might be all the way to September. So she gave herself a really long runway. She joined during 3L year. Several people joined during their 3L year. And some people joined when they had a space of time between they didn't pass the bar, they're going to take a year off, and they're going to take the bar next year. But they went ahead and joined our program because it is actually a very good thing to have a longer lead time for studying. It's a good thing. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, the information won't be fresh," but here's the good side of having a longer study time and therefore making it good for you. So Elena said your jurisdiction hasn't said yes, but you would rather take September. Yeah, yeah. If you can have a longer lead time for your exam, like it's definitely to your benefit, especially if you've been struggling to pass. So let me tell you how to maximize your study season because the young lady that came in during 3L year, and she's really dear to my heart. She really she knew she was going to have scheduling conflicts for July because there was big family events scheduled for July that nobody asked her permission, but she was expected to be deeply involved. And lo and behold, now this whole COVID-19 thing happens, And because we had prepped her for studying ahead of time and keeping track daily and basically spreading things out so that she wouldn't feel pressed and, you know, like it was an urgent situation around July. Because we did all that, she is still prepared for the bar exam, even though some, let's say, some tragedy has befallen her family around COVID-19. But she's been able to not lose hope for her ability to do this bar exam because she started preparing long beforehand in the way that I show you. And therefore, she made maximum use of her study time. And this is really what you need to do, especially when you're fighting against family obligations and situations seemingly out of your control when it comes to studying for the bar. If you're fighting against those things, then it behooves you to pay attention to this particular bonus session and learn those tips on how to maximize a longer study session. That way, when things happen that you can't control, it doesn't take you out of the running for the bar. Okay, it doesn't take you out of the running. So, the first thing that you want to do when you are preparing to study for a longer period of time than you normally would. Now, some people don't like this, and you can boohoo and complain and let me know how you feel in the comments. But you need to treat every day like it's study season. So when you're studying that day, it's a study day, and in your mind, today is a study day. If you're off that day and you're not studying that day, which highly recommended, that's one of the benefits of having a longer study season is you get to take 1 to 2 days off per week. If you're off that day and you're not studying, it's not just, oh, a regular day in the neighborhood. In your mind, you wake up in the morning and you check your calendar and you go, oh, this is a study off day. I check my calendar before I go to bed about what do I have lined up for tomorrow. And in my mind, I mentally prepare myself as I go to sleep for what I have tomorrow. And it's like my mind almost kind of gets me ready for it. So you want to treat each day during the study season, even if it's a 10-month study season, as either a study day or a study off day. And when you are treating each day as if it's a study oriented day, you stay in the mind frame of studying for the bar exam. Instead of you switch off the study brain to go off and do whatever, even if you're off for 4 days, instead of saying today's a study off day number one, study off day number two, study off day number three, instead you say, I'm on vacation. When it's time to come back, oh, the drudgery, oh, the mental adjustment, right? So it's like the difference between having the weekend off, right, versus going on vacation from work. It's easier to switch back into work mode if you just had a Saturday and Sunday off than if you went off on a 2 week vacation and have to come back. Do we agree? Which one is easier to switch back into? Go back to work on Monday after the weekend off or going back to work after 2 weeks off? Tell me, which one is easier, 2 days or 2 weeks? I'm looking in the comments for your responses. And the reason, the difference is made because of the mindset that you kept going while you were off on vacation or taking a day off. You said this is a study off day. I might be on a 7 day cruise. It's study off day number one, study off day number two, study off day number three, because that tells your mind, relax and enjoy it now, and we're going to get back into studying when we get back, as opposed to tricking your mind into thinking that this whole study season is over and now it takes all this ramp up time to get back into your studying. We can't afford that downtime. Okay, not to mention the emotional turmoil you're going through when you recall that you have to start studying for this bar exam yet again, and all the, emotional stuff that you go through because maybe this is the multiple attempt at the bar and you can't believe you're still having to do this. Well, make it easier on yourself by keeping your brain in study mode regardless of whether it's a study on or study off day. You just will characterize your days in terms of your bar study season, even if it's 10 months long. Okay, that's tip number one to help you actually with a mindset. And this mindset helps you maximize the length and study time, because a lot of people will blow off a whole month of time that they had that they really could have used to solidify the learning, and they just blow it off because they don't know how to treat having a longer study time. They just think, oh, it's time for me to be able to really slack off and then I'll get on the ball when everybody else starts studying. No, you need to be studying now. Okay, even if you're taking the bar exam next year, 10 months from now. Study now a little bit every day. And that brings me to my next point. Let me know if this is a tip that you think that you can or should incorporate. Let me know. Hey Sheila, so good to see you here. Yes. So I don't like the D word, the discipline word, because it just sounds so stern. We're just trying to be helpful and supportive to our minds and that little rebellious child inside, right? So the next tip to maximize a lengthened study season is give yourself permission to chunk your studying. You have 10 months to study. You do not have to study 4 hours a day. You just don't, right? Doesn't that make it easier? You don't have to sit and study for 4 hours every day if you have 10 months to study. Okay, chunk it down. Give yourself permission to chunk it down, right? This is the beauty of a lengthened study season, is you get to chunk it down. Now, some of you may be afraid I might forget the material. I have to spend the time keep continuing to go over the material. Well, if you paid attention to day 4 of our challenge, where we taught the time space repetition, and we taught you how to go back over the material over increasing periods of time so that your brain was trained to remember it even after you've forgotten it. You won't be scared of forgetting the material. You'll have proof in the pudding that you can bring the material back up even if it's been a month since you last looked at it. You'll have the proof of that because you're applying the time space repetition. So maximizing a longer study season may be hard for some people who have never gone through the 5 day challenge that you just experienced. But with the tools in your toolkit that you now have, you can absolutely make very good use of your maximized study season. Okay. Incorporate the tools and the tips that you learned that apply to your learning style and your learning superpower, which brings us to um, our last point on how to have a super efficient, maximized study season. But before we go to there, let me see you in the comments. Talk back with me and let me know if how much time will you allow yourself to chunk your studying down to. If you have a lengthened study time and you're not having to crunch within 6 to 8 weeks, how much time will you allow yourself to bring it down to? Let me see in the comments below. When I was studying, I gave myself a year's lead time. I won't lie, I did blow off some of those months. And then I blew off those months because I was reluctant to pay for my private help, my coach that I needed. And so I blew off about 3 months deciding back and forth whether I was actually going to pay for it. And 3 months later, I was no closer to passing than I had been before because I had done nothing different from what I had done before. So I finally coughed up the cash, and then the wheels started moving as to me taking concrete action that helped me really feel like I'm about to pass the bar exam. And of course, that feeling translated to actual reality. So I did blow off a couple months. However, once I got on track, I was able to chunk down my studying to 2 hours a day during the week and 4 to 6 hours on the whole weekend. And I was able to do that and successfully pass the bar exam because I had a huge lead time. So, how much time will you allow yourself to chunk it down to, depending on how much lead time you have ahead of you? This is how we can really work study life with work life and family life if we need to, giving ourselves a longer lead time for the bar exam. And I highly encourage you, if you have 10 months before your next bar, start studying now, get the structure in place now, get the support in place now so you can maximize that lengthened time. Okay. Hey Vanessa, welcome. Hey Connie, good to see you. And so the last thing is you want to incorporate all the things that you learned during the challenge. You have months to bring those things in, whether it be your study strategies. You know you're a community person, go establish those accountability relationships, go get into that group coaching program so that you have a community of people doing the same thing that you are doing, right? So you know that you need your systems and your checklists in place, and that maybe you're the kind of person that gets too lost in the information gathering stage and analysis paralysis. You're always buying a new resource or study aid or supplement. Well, you have an extra time to get that stuff out of your system And you can say to yourself, I'm going to give myself 2 weeks to go researching the bar, researching this and researching that, and reading manuals without even practicing the multiple choice, because that's what a lot of people do. They buy manuals, they think they're doing something good. They spend forever reading the explanations. They never actually do the practice questions, and all they did was stay stuck in analysis paralysis. You have a lengthened study time, use it to your benefit by taking that time to incorporate your study style accommodations and your learning superpower study strategies. Maybe you need to learn how to mind map. Maybe you need to learn how to photo read. Maybe you need to record audio flashcards for yourself, or maybe you need to record your condensed outlines in your own voice. You have a lengthened study season to do all that stuff in. If you only had 6 to 8 weeks, it'd be crazy town trying to crunch all that in. But if you have a lengthened study season, you get to maximize it by catering to your needs while you study for the bar exam. And you learned about those needs during day one and day two of the challenge. So if you want a refresher on day one and day two of the challenge, get that refresher now, because all those videos are coming down tonight. Videos come down tonight, right? All the videos everywhere, YouTube, my website, Facebook group, all those videos are coming down tonight. It's supposed to be a time spaced thing and not something that you drag on forever. This is supposed to come to a steady end so that you can move on to actually studying, and not just telling, basically BSing yourself every day that you're going to start studying when you finish the challenge videos, but then you never finish the challenge videos. That's why they're coming down tonight, right? Because I'm not going to facilitate, the procrastination gremlin here, because it is there and it is strong. Okay. Now, if you want further access to the challenge videos, you get that when you enter into our mentoring program, where I am there to basically kick your butt and make sure that you get your plan done so that you can actually start using your plan. But without that built in accountability that you get inside our mentoring program, you're on your own to kind of get it done when you get it done. No, they're coming down tonight. Okay. And if you just got in and you just heard of this and you really want to go ahead and get the whole 5 days done all at one time and have support doing it, we're hosting a one session recap of all 5 days. And it's going to be the Sunday after this one. So not this Sunday, but the Sunday following. One session recap from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern, where everybody who wants to join, I'm going to send out the email via the email list, so look for your emails, but I'm going to invite everybody who wants to join to RSVP for the after party, is what we'll call it. And it's going to be a one session recap of all 5 days, all at one time, like one right after the other. Boom, 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 boom. I'm going to be here leading you live. You can ask me your questions in real time, and we'll go ahead and get it done that way, because I know some of us were battling with work schedules or Facebook distractions or whatever. Is that valuable to you? Go ahead and let me know. Go ahead and let me know if this one session, period where we're going to just cover all 5 days at one time would be valuable to you. I think it would be valuable, but I really need to get your feedback, because I might be putting something out there that nobody even wants, and setting aside 2 hours on my Sunday evening that people don't even won't even take advantage of. So I need to know from your viewpoint if this is something that's actually beneficial. Hey, Lexi. Hey, Aisha says yes. Okay. So we're going to get it all done in one day. I know what it's like to get sidetracked. Like, you really had all good intentions of doing this challenge. And then day two hit, you still hadn't even watched day one. And then, day four hit, and you're like, oh my goodness, when am I going to catch up? I only caught day three. I still need to do day one and two. And now here day five is coming tomorrow. I know what it's like. And so for me, I just kind of really need to cut the fluff and get down straight to it, and boom, 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 give it to me straight, give it to me quick, and let me be in and out. I'm like that. So I'm going to assume that some of you are like that as well. So if that's the case, then yes, we will be hosting Sunday after this one. This Sunday is, I'm not even going to try to tell you the date right now. I'm not going to play that game. But after this Sunday, the Sunday after, 5 to 7 p.m., we're going to host a 2 hour recap session of the entire 5 day challenge. So tell your friends, especially the ones that you wanted to invite them, but it was almost done or something, or maybe they couldn't catch up. Bring a friend with you, bring an accountability buddy with you. Say, we're going to do this for 2 hours. Meet me in the Zoom room. We're going to do this for 2 hours, okay? All right. So, Sheila, it's going to follow the same process that we did during the 5 day challenge. So if you already signed up and you got your workbook and you downloaded it, make sure you've downloaded it because that's coming down tonight too. But if you signed up and you got your workbook and you downloaded it and saved it to your computer, that is your outline. Refer to that. I'm not doing any more work towards that because all the work has already been done the first time around. And this 2 hour session is a supplement for your convenience, you being able to do it's like a study hall session, right? Host you being able to get this done from the top to the bottom completely since you were not able to follow along during the 5 days. I know what that's like. I've been there too. So I am, as a courtesy and a super bonus, adding this one session where we get to go from the top to the bottom, following along with all of the challenge tasks, getting it all done within 2 hours. Okay? Within 2 hours. Go ahead and download it, save it to your computer, and come to the session with it. Although I will share my screen and have things up and you can follow along just with paper and pencil if that's what you need to do, right? However, come along, let's get this done. We're going to get it done during the 2 hours on that Sunday. So I'm going to send out an email in the next couple of days. Give me a chance to catch up with all the new inner circle members that joined from the challenge. Welcome, everybody. And we are going to get you all onboarded and smoothly flowing with the program. And then Sunday after next, we're going to do this 2 hour catch up session for people who missed out. That's what I have for you. This is how you maximize your longer study session. You, number one, and let me know if this is helpful to you. Number one, you characterize each and every single day as a study day or a study off day. Nevertheless, the title of the day will always be study, and then you can have off or on, right? Underneath. So keep your mind in study mode because it's easier to get back to your studying if this was a study off day instead of you tricked your brain into thinking that you're done with the bar and you're off for 2 weeks. Now getting back to bar study is so much harder. It's easier if, even if you're on a 2 week vacation, to just call it a study off day every single day of that 2 week vacation. Number two is to chunk down your studying. Give yourself permission to study for less time every day. If you have 10 months to study, you can do that, right? It's okay. It's okay to study less every day and live your normal life, go to work, make some money, make the rest of your life comfortable, and make sure you get your studying done every day. 2 hours a day, 6 hours on the weekend, depending on how long you have, right? Then finally, incorporate all the tips that we gave you in the challenge. And if you couldn't get them all during the week, we're going to do a bonus session 2 weeks from now. It's an after party where you get to come together with me and I'll lead you through all 5 steps. But use the extra time to implement those new study strategies and learn how to do the study strategies so you hit the ground running with your actual study material. Use that time to set up your accountability system or get into an accountability group. Use that time to set up or get out of your system all of that knowledge gathering and analysis paralysis that you high wisdom and knowledge folks like to get into, right? Go ahead and use that time to cater to who what you learned about yourself in day 1 and day 2 of the challenge. This is how you maximize a lengthened study time, and you can be sitting pretty. Although she's facing tragedy at this moment, you know, she's able to look at the bar exam and let it not be this big thing that she's nowhere near prepared for because she has been preparing for it since she signed up for our group coaching course months ago. And ever since she came into our program, she's been prepping for the bar, even though she had oodles of time, months and months and months and months before the actual exam. We went ahead and worked out a schedule to get started sooner rather than later, based on what we thought would be coming up in July. And the fact is that because of that, she's able to be on track, even though there's things happening right now, in life, in real life. Real life happens. So go ahead and utilize extra time if you had extra time. And honestly, I am a proponent for skipping a bar exam administration, giving yourself time to really get it together. Because sometimes there might be some mindset issues that are there that need to get unraveled. Give yourself time to dive into the mindset issues and unravel those before you rush headlong into another bar exam administration and fail again. We don't want that. So you do want to make sure you've covered all the bases to resolve all the problems that existed beforehand before you go rushing headlong into another administration. Because all you're going to do in that is build up more baggage that you have to resolve so that you can finally pass. And we don't want that, right? So that's what I have for you tonight. I'm going to let you guys go tonight. It's like almost half past the hour. If you need me, I should be around on the internet for another 5 or 10 minutes or so. So feel free to send me messages. And if you needed to talk, um, my calendar is booked for this week, but next week things will be opened up. And so go ahead and send me a message so that I can get you in for next week so that you can have a consultation if you did need to get into what's going on with your mindset. Remember, we have the catch up session, not this Sunday, but the Sunday after that from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern. And I will see you guys there. And I'm just going to check my calendar just so I can give you a date, an actual date. It's not Sunday the 26th, it's Sunday the 3rd of May. The 3rd of May will be our catch up session from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern. If you want to do it'll be the after party. We'll call it that, the after party. If you want to do the 5 day challenge all in that 2 hour time span, then meet us in the Zoom room on May 3rd at 5 p.m. Eastern. I will see you guys later. Good night. Bye for now.